And there's the first touch of the ball for Dean, and he makes no mistake with his touch finder. 23 metres out from the Ireland goal line. Paul Dean, 7 internationals, the first at 5'8" against South Africa in 1981. Tommy Lawton throwing into the line out. Good attacking position here for Australia. Well won by Linehan. Bit of a scuffle behind the play. Dean again. Big kick downfield. Penalty, though, has been awarded. So a good jump there by Donal Linehan, the British Lions second rower. And Paul Dean, who's not renowned as a great punter of the ball, certainly gaining a lot of ground with that kick before the referee awarded the penalty. Incidentally, the referee this afternoon is Mr. Bob Francis again. He was in charge of the first international at Twickenham. Bob Francis from Wairarapa Bush in New Zealand. He certainly received a bit of a bath from the press over here for his display. But I think the Australians were quite happy with his performance. 10-metre line, Irish territory. Another good line out. Dean, they're running it here. Good kick by Finn. Roger Gould. Moss Finn with a lovely angle kick across field.
The inside centre then gaining 40 or 50 metres from that kick. The same sort of tactics in New Zealand employ against Australia.
Again, back at the line-out ball. Here goes Dean. Took his eye off it. Phil Orr tackled and flung into touch there. Manful tackle there by Tommy Lawton. But Australia expected to dominate the line-outs, but a couple of shocks early on for them. This Irish tight five, the front five, will be a much tougher proposition than the English tight five. Offside play there by Ireland, coming in on the wrong side of the ruck, and a relieving penalty here for Australia. Michael Lynagh, who scored that thrilling try at Twickenham. Struck that one beautifully and up towards the 10-metre line into Ireland's territory. He really has blossomed on this tour, Brendan.
He has. He's played superbly. If not at 5'8", then he's played at inside centre, and he's sort of very difficult person to leave out of the side now.
Another big jump for Ireland. Donal Linehan. Dean putting it into the box. Roger Gould waiting this time. Massive punter of the ball. He's following. Hugo McNeil dropped it forward. Advantage here for Australia. Mark Ella. Long pass. Campese. Off he goes. Matt Burke. Great attack from Australia.
Great work. Matt Burke coming off his wing and in support there. David Campese having the defence in 6s and 7s.
Penalty has been awarded to Australia, and a long cut-out pass it was from Mark Ella, which sent the rampaging Campese away. He certainly has captured the imagination of the British crowds over here with his exhilarating football.
It would seem at this early stage of the match, Gordon, that Ireland would be content to keep Australia pinned down in their own half, not allowing us to develop any of our support play, which has held us so well throughout this tour.
Michael Lynagh, as he found in the international at Twickenham, having a very difficult first-up kick at goal. He narrowly missed his first one, but he'll be out to steer this one through. He struck the ball very well last week, but the accuracy wasn't quite there for him. No goal. That one missing by a reasonable margin on the left-hand side. 5 minutes of play gone. So an early opportunity for the Australians. But a feature of the Australians' play last week was that they didn't panic when things were going against them in the first half.
Alan Jones has this side superbly fit, and we can maintain concentration at all times. So, you know, there is no reason to panic at all. There, Stephen Williams wins a great tap from the 25.
Tom Lawton to Nick Farr-Jones to Tyneman. Tyneman, another young man known as the Bird, who has come along on this tour in leaps and bounds. Captain of the Australian schools team here against Ireland in '81. You may hear the odd rumble during the game. That's the DART, Dublin rail transport, going underneath the grandstand. Farr-Jones. Fitzgerald picking up the crumbs. Dean. It hasn't gone out. Roger Gould. Brilliant take. Matt Burke. Mark Eller in support. Campisi's outside. Campisi away again on the left. Stretching out brilliantly, but he lost the ball. Anderson picking up for Ireland. But again, fine counter-attack from the Australians just outside their 22.
If Ireland are to halt this midfield assault that Roger Gould is forcing on them, then they're going to have to send more people up midfield on those kicks.
Dean not finding his touch, and Australia coming away. He hasn't found it again. No one back with Gould this time. The Australians must get outside that 10-metre mark. Big tackle by Gould. Fitzgerald there, though, mauling the ball away cleverly. Coming out Australia's way. Came out like an orange pip, but the referee's given it the other way. Right on the 22. Good peel there from the Irish forwards. Expert mauling. Paul Dean having plenty of work in the early stages. Campisi looking for a quick throw, but the ball going out on the other side of halfway. Seven and a half minutes gone. Four-man line out here from the Australians. Correction, three-man. One again by the Irish. Good work by Matthews. Well, I would have thought the referee could have played advantage. The crowd certainly thought so.
Ireland have obviously done their homework on the line out here and have won quite a few of the last line outs.
Ireland have won the first 5 line outs. One-way traffic so far. Campisi goes high. Lost ahead by the halfback Bradley, and a let off for Australia. This Irish forward pack certainly in control in the early stages with their dominance in the line-out.
Your best attacking ball is from the line-out, so unless Australia start winning adequate line-out ball, then we could be hard-pressed to put on first score.
There's a big kick by Liner. It's a lovely-looking kick. And he takes the pressure and the heat off the Australians. Matt Burke was the first man up to that line-out. That's Andy Slack with the ball. So the Irish content to have a full 7-man line out here. Matthews wins well. Lovely pass to Dean. His kick is not a good one. Gould inside his 22 on his left foot. And that one rolling into touch. Clive Norling, the touch judge on the far side. But still no score in the game. We've had 10.5 minutes of play. Line-outs are 6-1 to Ireland, but that's the second win. Mark Eller, the ball behind him. Michael Liner. That one's gone straight back to Ringland. He almost dropped it. But what was the Australian tactic there, Brendan?
Well, possibly to force it back into the box, Gordon, so to halt the sweeping cover coming across. All they're aiming to do now is to get Ireland into two minds as to whether they're going to spin it wide or put it up to them.
That's the halfway line on the left. Linehan wins well. Loose pass to Dean. Finn is caught. Poitevin first takedown. Australia have it in control. Mark Ella. Liner. Oh, good tackle. Lost Finn the tackler on Andy Slack. Forcing the error.
Great pressure by the Irish backs there to contain the Australians, which could have been quite a dangerous attack from them.
10-metre line, Australian territory. Australia doing well in the loose play, but in those lineouts, Ireland leading at the moment by 7-2. Good scrum for Australia. The backs are lined out. Liner, cut out to Gould. He tapped it forward.
Good ball from that scrum there, Gordon, which has been quite an outstanding feature of the Australian play early on in this tour. A stable platform which has provided our backs room to move.
Roach at the back. Taken away, though, by Carney. Ella. High kick. Coming off the side of his boot. Everyone onside. Lost ahead by Australia. A drop goal for Michael Liner. He struck it well. It's a beauty.
Michael Liner will be very pleased with that effort from approximately 40 metres out.
It certainly was a lovely pot by the youngster. He also was in the Australian schools team here against Ireland in 1981. He's one of the babies of the team, but really he has such a cool head. 18.5 minutes elapsed in the first half. Michael Liner with a field goal has given Australia the lead. The Irish forward slow to get back, but Liner with plenty of room steered it straight through. Anderson for Ireland. They have it in control here. Strong play by Jimmy McCoy. Offside play by the Australians. And now a big test here for the Irish goal kicking. They've come into this match without a recognised goal kicker. Moss Finn, the centre, is going to take the short ones, and I believe Mike Kiernan will take the long ones. Mike, he doesn't remember either because he was suffering concussion. Hushed moment here at Lansdowne Road. This to level the scores. Out to the right. Phil Orr on this side, opposed to Andy McIntyre. Carr Jones isolating himself. Back to Tyneman. No halfback. Rodriguez. Mr. Fix-It. Mark Ella. Liner. Solid tackle on Slack and Liner. Campese. Back to Gould. Matthew Burke was over there. Australia desperately looking for the ball. Here it is to Mark Ella. Straight ahead. The referee got in the way. Poitevin. Picked up by Matthews. Well, Ella had 3 men in support there, one of whom was the referee.
Ireland at 6s and 7s in these broken field situations.
3 minutes gone in the first half. Tight head to Australia. Liner. Good mauling, though, by the Irish forward. Sexton was there. Where's the ball? Australia has pushed Ireland back. Ireland had the ball on their side, but it was a tremendous shove from the Australian forwards.
Great recovery from the Australian forwards, again to maintain that attacking phase of their play.
Vital scrum for Australia. Mark Ella. Back to Liner. Now it's Gould. 2-on-2. Roger Gould launched it forward. Again, desperate Irish defence. Another heavy clash of players. Coming across in cover there to force the error was Matthews, the young man from Arts, and it was a crashing tackle too. And Anderson, Cutler took it well. Good ball for Australia. Farr Jones sniping. Still going. Ella. Mark Ella, what's he He's standing up in the tackle. Williams. Australia right on the goal line. Where's the ball? Ireland come away. What a let-off. 5-metre scrum.
Ireland looking quite fragile there, close to the end of line-outs and rucks and scrums. And Australia are starting to make dents into that armour around there.
A very inexperienced Irish back row. Only 4 caps between them. And they are missing tackles around the fringes. Tyneman with the ball. 3 metres out. And again, it's carried over the goal line, but held up. We're going to have another scrum for Australia.
We could see Mark Ella looping around Michael Liner here with Roger Gould ready to crash into that line.
Australia now trying to push. Ella, Liner, Ella. Long pass to Burke. Tyneman. Slackers there. Great work by the Irish back row. High kick. Gould. Oh, what a courageous kick by Gould. The Irish forward running over the top. Australia though killing the ball. And a penalty to Ireland. And don't be surprised if Michael Kiernan comes up for a shot at goal. No, they're not going to have the shot.
Open side and has really come on in the last couple of years of international rugby.
Chris Roach from the University of Queensland. He's 17th international for Australia today. This is his 4th match on tour. And it looks as though he may have to leave the field. It's hard to see what the problem is. Dr. Sid Sugarman, who incidentally studied here at the College of Surgeons in Dublin. And Chris Roach, it's hard to see what the injury is. He's pointing to his ribs, but Brendan suggests his hip.
It's got to be quite serious for Chris Roach to contemplate coming from the field.
That is a blow for Australia because Roach has been first to the breakdown on most occasions. And perhaps David Cody now will come on for Australia. Farr Jones clears well to Ella. Lovely hands. Slack through the dummy. He's in trouble. Farr Jones. Tyneman. Good support play from the Australians. The lineouts have been evened up a little. Ireland ahead by 8-6. Farr Jones yelling the signals across. There's Jimmy McCoy from the Royal Ulster Constabulary. Well won at the front. Campese straight through. Look at him go! Pointerman, Matthew Burke's outside. Oh, they bombed a certain try. Pointerman could have scored himself. He was through and then passed forward. Australia home for all money there after a scintillating burst by Campese.
David Campese switching back into centres to halt that flow across the field, found the gap and then linked up with Poitevin.
Matthew Burke. But he has this tendency now, Brendan, of getting in the clear and then passing it straight away. Perhaps he should be backing his judgment a little more.
I think so. It'll just come with experience, Gordon. Also, you know, if you've got 3 gold jerseys around you, then you immediately look for support. And Simon Poitevin especially, you'd expect him to really sort of go on with it. But it's just one of those things, a lot of noise here today, Gordon. So, you know, you can understand why he did hesitate there.
Michael Liner now with a chance to give Australia a 6-point cushion. How do you see the battle up front so far, Brendan?
Well, the honours are fairly evenly shared in the scrum and also in the line-out. Well, I see Ireland a little bit in front in that they're providing good ball. Their 5'8" has plenty of time to relieve pressure. In the rucks and walls, we're doing quite well, Australia, and getting to the breakdown very quickly, but the Ireland forwards are simply diving straight over the top and killing ball, which is a feature of the play here in the British Isles.
Michael Liner. McCoy, or waiting. If ever this was a vital kick, he's hooked it. Well, Michael Liner had a very unhappy day with the boot at Twickenham. Things not working out for him so far. Yeah. Far Jones again. Liner, Ella. Cut out to Gould. Look at the overlap. Burke. Campisi. Goose step, did he? Burke again. Solid defence from Ireland. Heavy pressure now from the Australians. Bradley, the halfback, has made quite a few errors for Ireland. That appears to be a weak link for them at the moment. It's only 15 metres out. Cutler at the back to Far Jones, to Ella. But the referee saying the throw wasn't straight. But the Australian backs haven't got their act together so far in this first half. Tynerman tapped it back well to Far Jones. Rodriguez mauling the ball. So too is Cutler. Hasn't quite got the distance. Not a bad effort, though. The crowd certainly enjoyed it. And in the first half, Kiernan also had a shot, so Ireland have missed with their 2 penalty kicks. Michael Liner has missed with his 2. Kiernan with the kick. Second half underway. Far Jones. Cleverly keeping the ball in play. So we could see a move coming back close into the forwards now, just to tie up that Irish defence. Good ball for Mark Ella. Liner to Poitevin. That's the possession Australia wanted, but they were a bit slow there. Here it comes. Far Jones. Mark Ella. Field goal. It's a good one. Oh, lovely punt there by Mark Ella. The second field goal of the match. And Australia really wanted that one. Ella cool as a cucumber. And Australia in the lead. Brendan Moon. Mark Ella, the master of the field goal. Given a little room, and he's just put it straight through the middle there. Again, more pressure on Ireland and taking the pressure off Australia there. So that point scorer for Australia coming after 3 minutes of the second half. Australia ahead now by 6 points to 0. Liner with a torpedo kick straight to McNeil. He was in perfect position. He's a great runner, this man. Tyneman the tackler. Sexton in there for Ireland. Good ball for the Irish. Bradley. No high tackle. It was around the shoulders. The crowd trying to referee that time. There's an overlap here. Finn. Lost ahead by Ireland. Good defence, Australia. But the crowd calling for a high tackle. Here's our friend, Mr. Norling. The referee judged the tackle as being around the shoulders. I thought it was. What's he going to do, Mr. Bob Francis? He's speaking to both captains. It looks as though it's a penalty to Ireland. Well, I thought the referee saw it as it happened. He should have. But on the touch judge's report, he's given a penalty to Ireland. Round the shoulders is quite allowable. Kiernan now. He struck his first kick very well. It's gone through. Off the uprights. 3 points in it. Ireland right back in the match. Here's the incident again. You can judge for yourself. This is Mullen. Well, perhaps it was a little bit round the neck, but it is out from the Irish goal line. Australia leading by 6 points to 3. A very tense situation here at Lansdowne Road. Bradley. The Australian forward swarming through. And a couple of punches thrown. fairly harmless, I would suggest. Bradley, the halfback, under a lot of pressure that time with the loose tap, and the whole of the Australian forward pack arrived on top of him. Michael Bradley hasn't had the happiest of days behind the Irish forwards, and he's been given a pretty torrid time by Nick Farr-Jones.
Michael is being pressured by both the Australian scrum moving his scrum backwards and his own forwards not giving him much protection, and also Nick Farr-Jones continually hounding him.
Fitzgerald gives his halfback a tap on the head. And Rodriguez got it back to Farr-Jones. Oh, there's a big drive from the Irish forwards. Now they can run it. Mullen. Here comes McNeil. Overlap for England. Nardella. He can't take him. Finn. Kick charged down by Gould. But brilliant attacking sortie there from the Irish. Norling has his flag out again. We've seen another flare-up. You may have seen it at home. We'll have to wait for Mr. Norling. But that's Willie Anderson, the number 5 there for Ireland. A pretty fiery customer. He toured Argentina with the Penguins and stole the Argentine flag and was held in custody for 3 months over in Buenos Aires. A colourful man, but this is great attack from the Irish backs.
It is. They've certainly made inroads into the Australian defence. I think David Campese might have stayed with his winger there and to prevent them getting around the Australian defence. I think the problem might have been when Matt Burke has tackled Trevor England. I think Trevor England took exception to that.
Another penalty to Ireland. It's pretty well an identical spot. Andrew Slack is arguing with the referee. The touch judge is coming up again. Mr. Norling, a controversial character, has his way again. And Kiernan now with a chance to level the scores. As the ball popped out for their backline, who swept play upfield. Kiernan now to level the scores. His confidence must be high after that last kick. He's got it. Lansdowne Road has erupted. Australia's in trouble here. They led by 6-0. But they've given away a couple of penalties. And they've allowed Ireland back into the match. Farr-Jones had the ball. It was flicked back to him. Wasn't expecting it. Knock on.
Great pressure from Roger Gould there. Lovely high kick, and he's followed his own kick through. Put pressure on the fullback, knocked the ball out of his hands, and it's actually come back the Australian side.
Fitzgerald and Sexton very slow to get up there. But things not going Australia's way, I'm afraid. And if you're an Australian supporter, let's hope that's not an ominous sign. But the Irish now are playing inspired football. The Australians, we saw them come back against Midlands during the week at Leicester. They were down 18-9. Yet they were able to come back and win that game by 21-18. Kieran Fitzgerald. He's just been appointed an aide-de-camp to the President of Ireland, Dr. Paddy Hillary. He's a very rugged customer. Rodriguez and McCoy on this side. Australian scrum again, pushing the Irish back. This is where the Irish forwards have been able to push. The Australian scrum has gained a degree of mastery. That's better ball though. Paul Dean. Not gaining much ground. Slack. Straight through. Lovely bust. Cutler there in support. Mark Ella again. Poitevin. Campese. Back to Poitevin. 3 metres out. Australia wants this ball. That's more like it. Australia. Great work there by Ella, Poitevin, and the forward pack who released it. Mark Ella's lost his boot. He certainly hasn't lost his touch, though.
Once again, Australia is switching the points of attack, so Ireland are unable to marshal any appreciative defence. Only last-ditch defence on the line there. Roger Gould, no doubt, is taking a dive so that Mark Ella can get his boot on as quickly as possible.
The Australian forwards in a huddle. The game at a very crucial point at the moment. Australia really has to score from this situation. They're deep into Irish territory. They have the scrum feed. The scores are level at 6-all, and the match is in the balance. Here it comes. Burke, like a steam train. He's held up though. The Australian forwards were slow to get there, and Ireland has the scrum feed. Full marks there to the Irish back row. Back to McCoy. Now it's Sexton. Good play there from McCoy. He still has it. They're going to run it here. McNeil. Kiernan's outside. Kim. Australia in trouble. Campese there. Offside play there. Obstruction, it appears. Obstruction by the Australians. I didn't see it.
Ireland showing great skills there, skirting the entire touchline, the entire length of the field there.
The writing is on the wall for Australia, I'm afraid. Australians. Kiernan now to give Ireland the lead. Minutes gone in this international in the second half. 3 penalties conceded by the Australians. 3 penalty goals were playing from the boot of Michael Kiernan, and it's Ireland now in the lead for the first time. Hour of calling for the Australian forwards. The Irish pack showing signs of getting on top.
Now will be the time when we see this bevy of moves that Mark Ella has up his sleeves. Very innovative, and have the crowds on the edge of their seat over here in the British Isles.
Farr Jones. Poitevin Morling. Tyneman has it. Now it's Roach at halfback. Gould to Burke. Irish back row there first again. Sexton was the man. Now Ireland are going to try and run it. Dean with a big kick downfield. Campese there for Australia. That one's going out on the full by a mile. Campese was outside his 22. 2-man.
No doubt an attacking ploy to try and suck Australia's back row in here.
Picked up by Lenehan. Roach is there, so too is Poitevin. But the Irish control it. There's an overlap. Ringland. He's a strong man. He lost it forward. Mark Ella. 30 metres out from the Australian goal line. Farr Jones. Australia not there in numbers. They're very loose. Ella now. Campese. Go ahead, Ringland. If Campese hadn't have tripped over there, he would have gone close to scoring.
Unlucky for David Campese, but again, Australia a bit short on support then for David. He was tackled, ball on the ground, and no one there to seal off.
Showing some different skills with his feet that time.
Ireland very flat in defence there, and Michael Liner has gone for the long kick over the winger there to try and push Ireland back into their own 25.
Good ball for Australia. Well, the passes are going behind the men. Burke busts through one tackle. Didn't go on with it. Roach is there for Australia. There it is. This is Liner. Where's the support? Australia go in. Here it comes. Bar Jones. Slack. Overlap. Wild pass. Campese. Tyneman. Gallant stuff from the Australians. Ellert. Now it's Campese. Can he get there? David Campese. No try. Another one goes begging. 28.5 minutes gone. Ireland desperately lucky to get out of that one. But still they have this 3-point lead. Here's the long pass from Gould, which missed everyone. But watch Mark Ella here. Tyneman supporting well. Then Steve Williams comes into the fray. Ella now with this delightful kick. It should have resulted in a try, but again the bounce of the ball, evading Campese. No one in front. That must be the ultimate frustration for the Australians. And they will fight all the way to the wire. The Irish are definitely showing signs of tiring.
And use that ball as they know they can. Just they're trying to hurry things a little now and tend to muck things up.
Here's Mark Ella. Field goal attempts. It's a good one. Scores a level. Second field goal for Mark Ella. That gives Australia great heart. And they really needed that one, Brendan Moon.
Definitely. Mark, with all his options closed off because of very tight defence, just propped on one foot and slotted it through, the easiest of field goals.
Psychologically now, Australia is back in the driving seat. Ireland will be wanting to keep this ball down in Australia's half. Now Ireland can run it. Australian back row tied in. Roger Gould. Here can he see if he can repeat the dose. .31.5 minutes gone in this second half. What a cliffhanger here at Lansdowne Road. Ireland 9, Australia 9. Australia's points have come from 3 drop goals, 2 by Ella, 1 by Liner. Big kick by Gould. That's the one Australia wanted. That's the 10-metre line in the middle.
Now it's imperative that we mount an attack and do something with it. We must put points on the board now.
One sense is that the Australians are finishing slightly stronger in the forwards. The backs have met stern opposition today from the Irish. Cutler, brilliantly won. Ella. Mark Ella takes it up. Liner. Oh, man taken out of the play. Matthew Burke. Campese. Campese. Mark Ella. What a try.
Superb try from the Australians. All from Mark Ella's work, taking it right up to the Irish defence and putting Michael Liner through a lovely gap.
Mark Ella scores his 3rd try in Test match football, the 2nd try in internationals, and see here how Andy Slack is taken out of the play.
Here comes Mark up to the defence. Michael Liner straight through the gap. Slacky slung to the ground there. Then Matthew Burke straight through that gap. Look at the power of that man. And then Campo just manages to halt the defence. Mark loops round. And a lovely touchdown in the corner there. Superb support work from the Australians. And Michael Liner throwing his arms in the air in delight there.
Well, if Michael Liner can put this one over, Australia will zoom into overdrive. But that field goal by Ella was the thing that put Australia back into the composure situation.
Andrew Slack would now be laying down the law to his forwards and also to his backs. They must maintain possession at all costs. Nothing risky, just everything 100%.
33 minutes gone. Michael Liner, and he certainly hasn't struck them well today, the young man. So Ireland can still snatch victory with a converted try. What's this brilliant backline play from Mark Ella, putting Liner through the gap. Liner did so well. Now Matthew Burke, the strong man. Campese in and out, knowing his man Ella was outside, and the Australian camp delighted. The match is far from finished, though. Good scrum for Australia. Liner. Campese coming through on this one. But again, this man Ringland in good position. He's strong, no support. Slack and Campese bundle him into touch.
Great kick from Michael Liner there, pushing the ball into the sidelines. And again, superb defence from Andrew Slack and David Campese.
Have taken the game right up to the Australians. Tyneman to Rodriguez. Great sweeping there by the loose head prop. Ireland have spoiled, but they were offside.
Once again, Steve Tyneman shows his mastery at the back of the line-out. He has no peer in the British Isles so far this tour at the back of the line-out and has provided a superb ball for the Australian backs to work with.
36 minutes gone. Second half. Australia leading 13-9. This for the 7-point cushion. 50 metres out from goal. 12 metres in from this broadcast touchline. He's got the distance. It's pretty close. And it hit the uprights. You can't get any closer than that. To take the victory away from Australia. Good drop out by Finn. Steve Williams tapped it back well to Rodriguez. Australia set it up. And again, the Irish are offside. Australia taking the ball away on the short side, looking to set up another ruck. The Irish forwards now very tired. And yet another shot for Michael Liner, who so far has missed with all 4 attempts, but this one is probably much more to his liking. Still 37.5 minutes gone in the second half. Again, Australia with a chance to take a 7-point lead. He's done it this time.
Noddy throws his arms in the air and says, well, how was that different to the rest of them? It looked as though Noddy had relaxed a lot more on that kick than he had on the previous ones, and so that'll be a tremendous boost to his confidence for this afternoon.
Michael Liner has given Australia the lead now and surely has put the Australians out of sight.
Things get desperate for the team in arrears. Ireland will be trying everything at their disposal and probably getting a little bit frantic too in their efforts.
Bradley, slow floated pass. Mullen. Now it's Kiernan, he's fast, he's gone straight through. Was he on one knee there when he passed? I thought he was. Maybe he wasn't held in the tackle. But Kiernan, the former Irish 200-metre sprint champion, found a gap as big as Sydney Heads that time and had Australia really backpedaling. I'd say we're inside the last minute. Australia leading by 16 points to 9. They've done it pretty tough out there today, but that makes it 2 out of 2 in their campaign for a first ever Grand Slam of the internationals over here in Britain and Ireland. Australia try to ruck it back. Here it comes for Ireland. Now it's Mullen. He's quick. He's tackled. Bradley kicks ahead. Campese's back there. Keeps it in play. Hooks it back over his shoulder. That'll just about break Ireland's hearts. There's the full-time whistle. The 8 Wallabies have done it. They've done it pretty tough, but they've showed all the character and courage that we know they're famous for. And this has been a memorable victory this afternoon by 16 points to 9.